on the first courtyard, and then later on we can continue through that passage to the second courtyard, and when we are ready here we can go out of this central part of the castle, and we can go downstairs to a little place, to a little terrace, where there is a statue of one man who played an important role even in Swedish history. It's a French, Louis Raduy de Souche. So first some few words about the history of this place. This castle or fortress was founded and built in the second half of the 13th century at that time by one of the famous and most important king of the Bohemian king dynasty, Přemysl Otakar II. At that time, Cedok was built as a residence for vice kings. They were called Markgraf. Very often they were younger brothers of ruling kings, and they were in fact ruling here in Milada. But later on this castle became more and more a fortress because it was built very good way, and during all centuries many foreign armies came here, besieged the castle, Spilberk, and the whole town of Brno. But it is necessary to say that none of them, during all centuries, none of these foreign armies managed to conquer the castle, neither the castle nor the town. For you, of course, the most interesting part of this history will be the 17th century, and in that the 30 Years' War. The 30 Years' War, as everybody knows, of course, was since 1618 to 1648, and during this long war the Swedish army came here twice, besieged, as I said already, the fortress, but also didn't manage to conquer it. The first time was in 1643. At that time the whole besieging was lasting only 8 days, from 1st to 8th of September, but in fact they had to interrupt it because Torstensson, the commander, the general, was called to come up to the northern battlefields to oppose Danish army with Christian IV there. So in fact this first besiege was not that important. Then they returned here later in 1645, and they started to besiege the fortress and the town exactly on the 4th of May. They thought that it will be just a very simple question to conquer that. They expect a help from Hungary, an army with Rákóczi on the head. They were not coming so soon as expected. They came on 15th of July, and then they were exactly 1 month longer besieging with the whole Swedish army this area, but that all was unsuccessful. This Hungarian army brought heavy artillery with. There are especially 2 very heavy cannons known under names the cat and the mouse, helping to the Swedish army, but they had to finish or close down or stop the besieging, and they made the last trial on the 15th of August, and then they started to prepare themselves to come back. They left this area on 23rd of August. It is necessary to say that the Swedish army was a very good equipped army with many soldiers. They were roughly 25,000, and the Hungarians brought more 8,000 good soldiers to that. So approximately 33,000 of good soldiers besieging the fortress and the town. In the town and in the fortress there were only exactly 1476 defenders, among them only 426 professional soldiers. But they managed to defend the town and the fortress, and not to let Swedes to come in. They made some very sophisticated preparations before the Swedes started the besieging, as for instance they created or built an underground passage, corridor, between the town and this fortress, because it is necessary to say, which is not possible to see now, that at that time this castle, this fortress, was out of the town, standing on a hill, out of the fortification of the town itself. So they managed to defend the town, and like this we can continue saying that no foreign army came by force here into the town and into this fortress. According to historical documents, it was so, as I just said, that the Swedes tried to do their best to come here, to come in. They made the last heavy attack on the 15th of August. This attack lasted till the late afternoon, and then they stopped and dropped that. But as it is very often, there are some legends explaining how all these events were like, and among them there is one very famous telling how this last attack was like, and according to this legend, on the eve of this last day, Torstensson was discussing with his officers in one pub, where he said that he decided the next day will be the last day of the whole besieging. Either they will come in and conquer the town, or they will return back. And this legend tells that among these Swedes there were some Czech people, and one of them who heard it went to the town and told to the defenders that they have to defend only one other day. So they made very big preparations, and there was another very important detail among these informations, and that was that Torstensson decided to hold this attack, to keep that attack exactly to the high noon, to the 12 o'clock. So he told that to the defenders, and on the next day they tried to defend and to hold up. but the Swedes were almost in the town, coming up to the fortification, and it was about 11 o'clock. So they decided to help to the faith and to the history. And the bell ringer from the St. Peter St. Paul's Cathedral, when he saw this hopeless situation, started to bell the lunchtime or the high noon ring from the cathedral already at 11 o'clock. You are smiling, we all can smile, but till today that cathedral rings the high noon bell at 11 o'clock to commemorate this historical event, how we defended the town from or against the Swedes. So later on, when we leave from here, we will continue to that cathedral, and you will see the place where we, or not we, but I always say only one man, the bell ringer, saved the whole town. So it was like this, and then the Swedes continued from here southwards to Vienna, and they arranged the whole situation here, as historical documents say. And then I think it was 2 years later, this very famous Swedish General Torstensson resigned from some not quite, to me at least, not quite known reasons, to his position as the commander of that big army. So this is concerning that part of the history of this castle fortress, which has some relation to Sweden. Then later on, when we already spoke about Napoleon, Napoleon and his army was in fact the only foreign army coming here into this fortress and in town of Brno, but not by force. After that battle of Slavkov or Austerlitz, the inhabitants of Brno invited Napoleon with his army here and opened the town gates and let him come in. The reason why they did that is that he won at that battle against Austrian emperor, who was considered at that time kind of oppressor, because we were belonging to Austrian Empire, not voluntarily but by force. So they wanted to show some friendly feelings to Napoleon. Napoleon, as a very good commander, came here to the fortress, damaged everything what was possible to damage, and what was possible to take with, he took to France. So since that time, 1800, in fact not 5, which is the year of that battle, but slightly later, 1809, he just finished by this the history of this fortress as a history of real fortress which was unconquerable through many centuries. Then, already before Napoleon and after Napoleon, there was a very sadly known prison here, which was one of the heaviest, hardest prisons for the whole Austrian Empire. And during that period, there were some very famous people imprisoned here, some groups of famous people as Italians. They were patriots wanting independence from Austrian Empire. Among these Italian patriots, there were some very All of them were highly educated, very intelligent people. Some of them were poets, writers, etc. The most well-known among them is Silvio Pellico. He wrote, after coming out of this prison, a book with the name My Prison, I think in English. And this book, which was read by the whole Europe, showed what Austrian Empire is like, you can say. And then other patriots from other parts of this Austrian Empire came here and were imprisoned here as Polish patriots and Hungarians as well. So nowadays the whole castle is a museum, looking not that bad as now normally, and among other collections there is a big collection of contemporary art, Czech and Slovak art here. This collection, called the Gallery of the town of Brno, is situated in the whole upper floor, in all rooms of the upper floor of the whole castle. Pitifully, we can't see that now either, because that's all closed because of this reconstruction. But it is worth seeing this collection, because many people, many experts on this field, many artists and directors of galleries as Hermitage in Leningrad and Louvre in Paris, etc., they admire that. They say that it is as a collection, as representation of this period and of this country, that it is made very well. So next time, maybe. I think that it is more than enough about history of this place. Now we can move to the second courtyard, and then we can move downstairs to that place to Raduj the Sush.
So the next time, I have found the key to the castle. It will be no problem.
Good, keep it. Yes, it is newer, and maybe it was rebuilt already in the past. That was looking somehow. Then, during all these centuries, when many armies were besieging that and shooting all these kinds of weapons here, they damaged a great deal of that. So they had many times to rebuild that, to reconstruct that. So in fact, when we were on that terrace, when we stopped there and I was stopped, on that courtyard there are some few moments which are still from that original part, from that 13th century. But all these, all the rest, that's from the later
And this
period.
Brno,
Well,
the same age as the first part.
that was later.
Later.
At least that, you know, maybe the well as such, with the water, it was already in that very first period there, because of course they needed some water supply at that time as well. But the stone piece around, that's from the 18th century.
This red stone in the wall now
Brick.
Yes, it's from the later time.
Yes, it's from the later time.
From the repair.
From the reconstruction.
Yes.
That's right.
You okay?
Jag ser inte att den går.
Ja.
Yeah, it's okay. You can start.
Behind this umbrella, it stops. Right. Literally against the rain. I can?
Yes, now you can.
Good. So, well, we are now on one of the three historical squares or circuses which remained here in Brno on the same area as they were founded in the 11th and 12th centuries. This one of the three of them was originally called the Upper Market. Then later on it changed several times the name. For a very long time it was called the Cabbage Market, and now officially it calls the square of 25th of February. But all of us call it just Cabbage Market, which you can see is just the logical name of that. In the center you can see one, as you said, monument, which is not a real monument, it's a fountain in a Baroque style, and inside you can see a statue of one, in fact, of the biggest hero of the Greek mythology.
Please, can you please,
Once more, from the very beginning.
no. Just start where you were. Continue.
There or
Yeah, it's okay.
it's okay like this. So, inside you can see a statue of the biggest hero of the Greek mythology. The Greeks called him Heracles, and the Romans later on had the same hero and called him Hercules. And here we can see him with a very big special dog in his hand, in chains already. It is one moment from the mythology when this Heracles worked and served to one Mycenaean king, and he had to fulfill 12 tasks, among them to bring souterrain, very big and furious dog, Cerberus or Cerberus, to that Mycenaean king. He was fighting with him and he won this fight, and he is holding him already in the chain. Then outside of the fountain you can see three women, three statues symbolizing three mighty empires of the past. It's Greece, Persia and Babylonia. And on the very top, here pitifully it's from the back side. When we go around you will see that it's another woman as well, symbolizing the mightiest power of that period, the Catholic Church. So now it's this fountain. Now we can have a look back to those places where we were now. Not a very nice view here, but you can see the towers of the cathedral. Then closer to us here on that square we can see a reconstructed palace again. It used to be a Dietrichstein palace. Dietrichstein was a noble family coming here to Moravia from Austria. They were very rich, mighty, powerful. They came here just after the 30 Years' War, during the very complicated period of counter-reformation or anti-reformation in English maybe. You know, when the Catholic Church wanted to get back all Protestants or to get rid of those who didn't want to come back. And then in 1805, when in that small little palace, which we saw already, before the Battle of Austerlitz started, Napoleon stayed overnight. In this big palace, at the same time, before the same battle, one Russian commander, very well known and very good one of that period, Kutuzov, stayed overnight. So at the same time they were enemies and slept in the same town, and then after they got up, they went to each of them to his army. So, and then, if you kindly have a look at that little church there, the church as such itself is not very important. It's just one of many historical churches here in the town, but under the church there is a crypt which is called Capuciner crypt, and which is very interesting. It is one of places of interest for tourists here, because there are mummies there inside under the church in 6 rooms, I think. They were not burned by any means. They just dried by circulation of dry air circulating through over 30 openings in the walls and in the ceiling. And they are the simple men. What is the right English name? I think monks. Men who are in a monastery. They are on the floor without any coffin, without anything, just in a normal dress of that monastery. And there are some rich people from this town being in coffins, but each coffin is from glass on the upper part, so that you may have a look at all of them, you may see them totally, which is very interesting but not very pleasant, I must say, because these mummies are just dark grey. I always say like the Faculty of Law, that building of that color, and it depends on some of them are kept or held pretty well. You can see teeth in their skulls, you can see nails on their hands and legs, and then partly skin, partly dress. So it is one of the places of interest of Brno, Capuciner crypt. If you like to play with your nerves, you may go there.
I think we can go there at 12 o'clock tonight. Is it possible?
Thanks God it is not possible. No.
You have no time to come with
No,
us.
that was just involuntarily that I had a look at the watch. But it is open for the public like a museum. But it is kept by or belongs to the cathedral, and they open that and close that as they consider it good. During the winter period, which is now so just at the end, but maybe they still didn't start the spring period, tourist period. During the winter period it is almost totally closed, because if everybody with wet boots would go there, that would destroy this month. So it is like this, and then we can continue now from here, pass by the old town hall, maybe to the second and then to the third square, historical square, and then we can direct ourselves to Brno. Good? It's good. So we are now in the old town hall, in a passage of that hall, where there are two symbols of the town of Brno. And it's under the ceiling, the dragon of Brno. And then a wheel of Brno on the wall. And again, as I said already, there are always legends telling us how things and events in the past have been like. So about these two symbols, of course, there are also legends. Concerning the dragon, this legend tells that this beast was living in the river, not far from Brno. Everybody was afraid of him, till one young man came to an idea how to get rid of him. He prepared a calf with lime inside. Then they gave this calf to that dragon, and when he ate him and drank water afterwards, it damaged his belly, it broke his belly. There is a special word for what kind of lime it must be. You know, before preparing that to use that for buildings. It is a special, I lost the word now.
Något som expanderar, vad kan det vara?
Because if you take this lime and put water to it, it starts react.
Cement.
No, not cement.
Är det något som ska expandera?
Är det något svamp av något slag?
It is a chemical reaction. Anyhow, so this chemical reaction happened inside the belly of that dragon, and then they were very happy, all of them, and took him and prepared him like this and put him here, so that everybody could see since that time that there is no reason to be afraid anymore. So, and he is called the Dragon of Brno. In fact, as you may see, it is, or it used to be a real crocodile, which Brno got as a present in the past from one Hungarian knight. And then, as I already said, when he died, they prepared him like this. And then the other thing, the other symbol behind you, that's the wheel of Brno. There is another legend, but in fact it is not a real legend, because all these, what I'm going to tell you, happened in the past, and it's even written in the town books. It happened in the beginning of the 17th century in one small town, not very far from Brno, the town called Lednice. It's almost on the Austrian border. Young people made a bet that one of them managed to produce within one day from a tree which will be in the forest in the morning of that day. He will cut the tree, produce the wheel, bring the wheel walking, rolling it to Brno before the town gates will be closed, which happened every evening. So this young man, the name of him was George Birk. He managed to do that all, even if it is incredible, because this little town is 60 kilometers out of Brno. And he came back to his native town very happy. He got even signed by the town council that he brought this wheel here. And he thought that he will be very admired, beloved, that everybody will be quite happy to be acquainted or friend with him. But at that time, because it was very long time ago, people didn't want to believe that a man, a human being, is able to do things like this without a help of a dark, mighty, let's call it like this. So, of a devil or somebody like this. So they, just on the contrary, didn't want to have anything with him. They didn't want to be acquainted or didn't want to be friends with him. And so this very capable man died then at the end of his life without friends, without money, and quite unhappy. And both these things, both the dragon and the wheel, are placed here or have been placed here a long time ago. They are permanently here to be seen, and just like this they became symbols of the town. Because everybody coming here, passing through the center, can see them.
What's famous is
This is just a corridor,
Yeah.
you know, because there are around us, in a shape of a square, in fact, buildings which were at the end of the 13th century started to be built up to a town hall. Now, or later on, it was called the old town hall because there is another, a newer one, town hall, which is called the new town hall. But now in some of all rooms of this old town hall, there are cultural facilities, we can say. There are some small concert halls here. There are some halls or rooms which are used by the dancing school. And then there are some rooms where there can be very little congresses or lectures and things like this. So that means they or we don't use this town hall as a town hall anymore, because they use as a town hall only the new one. So this particular place was just like a corridor, like a passage where they could come in even on a horseback, obviously, or with a car at that time, driven by horses. They could enter and come in, and here on that courtyard they could get out of the horseback, etc. So this was just like a corridor.